Allen Iverson, Memphis Grizzlies. In the summer of 2009, Allen Iverson was looking for redemption. Detroit had dumped him after he refused to come off the bench, and no contender wanted the drama. The Memphis Grizzlies, stuck in permanent rebuild mode, offered a one-year, $3 million deal. They sold it as a chance for Iverson to mentor Mike Conley and OJ Mayo. What they actually got was a reality check. Iverson missed training camp with a hamstring injury. By the time he debuted on November 2nd against Sacramento, he was already fuming. He came off the bench, scored 11 points, and told reporters he wasn't ever comfortable in this situation. Over 4 games, he averaged 12.3 points, played under 30 minutes, and questioned the coaching staff at every turn. On November 7th, he left the team, citing personal matters. Within a week, Memphis announced they were parting ways. He never played for them again. The entire experiment lasted 10 days. The Grizzlies went 40-42 that season, their best record in 4 years, without him. Iverson signed briefly with the Sixers, then vanished from the league. His Memphis stint was so short it almost feels made up. Chris Webber, Detroit Pistons. In January 2007, the Pistons signed Chris Webber off the waiver wire. At 33, C-Webb was long past his All-NBA days. The Sixers had cut him outright after a rocky season where he averaged 11 points and clashed with management. Still, Detroit believed he could help. Webber was a Michigan legend, and the Pistons needed a big man after Ben Wallace left in free agency. He started 42 games, averaged 11.3 points and 6.7 rebounds, and provided veteran scoring in the post. Detroit finished 53-29 and cruised past Orlando and Chicago in the playoffs. But in the Eastern Conference Finals, they ran into LeBron's coming-out party. Webber's production evaporated, just 6 points per game, and Detroit fell in 6. He re-signed briefly the next season, but never played another game. His knees were done. The Pistons' years were technically productive, but felt like an epilogue nobody really needed.
Scottie Pippen,
Houston Rockets. In 1999, Scottie Pippen was supposed to be the missing piece. After 6 titles in Chicago, he signed a 5-year, $67 million deal with Houston, joining Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley. On paper, it was a 90s super team. In reality, it was a chemistry disaster. Pippen clashed with Barkley almost immediately. He called him selfish and fat in interviews. Barkley later said he wanted to punch him in the face. Their feud overshadowed everything. The Rockets went 31-19 in the lockout-shortened season, good for 5th in the West. Pippen put up 14.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists. But when the playoffs came, they flamed out in the first round against the Lakers in 4 games. Pippen shot 36% for the series and publicly ripped the team's effort. By October, Houston dumped him to Portland in a trade. He lasted exactly 1 season. No banners, no harmony, just egos colliding. Before we proceed to the next one, can you hit that subscribe button and help me reach 1K subscribers? I appreciate it. Patrick Ewing, Seattle Supersonics. After 15 years as a Knicks franchise cornerstone, Patrick Ewing was traded to Seattle in September 2000. He was 38, coming off injuries, and the Sonics were hoping he had just enough left to anchor the paint. Instead, they got a shell of a Hall of Famer. Ewing started 79 games but averaged just 9.6 points and 7.4 rebounds, career lows in every major category. He wore knee braces on both legs and moved like he was in slow motion. Seattle finished 44-38, sneaked into the playoffs, and lost to Utah in 5 games. Ewing shot 37% in that series. Even Gary Payton admitted it felt weird having him around. When the season ended, Ewing signed with Orlando for one last year, retiring in 2002. Sonics fans mostly forgot he ever showed up. Knicks fans tried to pretend it never happened. Andre Iguodala, Denver Nuggets. In 2012, Denver traded for Iguodala in the 14 blockbuster that sent Dwight Howard to the Lakers and Andrew Bynum to Philly. The Nuggets thought they were getting a defensive anchor and veteran leader to push their 57-win squad over the top. Iggy started 80 games, averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and made the all-defensive first team. But the playoffs were a mess. Golden State, the 6th seed, upset Denver in 6 games. After the loss, rumors swirled that Iguodala had been texting Warriors players during the series about joining them. A few weeks later, he signed in Golden State, confirming every suspicion. Denver fans never forgave him. His lone season in Denver was productive but felt transactional, like he was already eyeing the exit. Tony Parker, Charlotte Hornets. In 2018, Tony Parker stunned everyone by leaving the Spurs after 17 years, 4 championships, and a Finals MVP. He signed with Charlotte for 2 years and $10 million. He arrived to back up Kemba Walker, bringing leadership to a team stuck in mediocrity. Parker played 56 games, averaged 9.5 points and 3.7 assists, and had a few vintage moments, like scoring 24 off the bench against Brooklyn. But he was 36. His speed was gone. His mid-range jumper was inconsistent. Charlotte missed the playoffs at 39 and 43. Parker retired the next summer, saying it just felt like the right time. Hornets fans respected him, but the jersey never looked right. It was a final chapter that read more like an epilogue. Kemba Walker, Dallas Mavericks. By 2022, Kemba Walker's knees were shot. After Boston traded him to OKC, who immediately bought him out, then a rough stint in New York, he was unsigned into the season. Dallas took a flyer in November, desperate for any backcourt help behind Luka. Kemba signed a non-guaranteed deal, hoping to prove he still had something left. In just his fourth game, he exploded for 32 points and 7 assists in a win over Cleveland, a flash of the old All-Star. But that was the peak. Over 9 games total, he averaged 8 points, shooting 42%. His movement never recovered, and the Mavs waived him in January to clear a roster spot. He never played another NBA game. His Dallas stint was over in less than 2 months. A reminder that no matter how beloved you are, your body eventually cashes the checks your game can't. Steve Nash, Los Angeles Lakers. In 2012, the Lakers made a splash, trading for Steve Nash to run pick and rolls with Dwight Howard and Kobe Bryant. It looked unstoppable on paper. Nash signed a 3-year, $27 million deal. But from the start, injuries defined everything. In just his second game, Nash collided with Damian Lillard and fractured his fibula. He missed nearly 2 months. When he came back, he never looked right. Over 3 years in LA, Nash played 65 games total, averaging 11.4 points and 6.4 assists. He sat entire seasons with nerve damage and chronic back pain. By 2015, he announced his retirement. The Lakers had traded 4 draft picks to get him, and got less than a season's worth of games. A 2-time MVP ended his career on the injury report, not the court.
Dwight Howard, Washington Wizards.
After short stops in Atlanta and Charlotte, Dwight Howard signed with Washington in 2018, hoping to stabilize their shaky front court. The Wizards gave him $11 million to start at center, but before the season even began, Dwight was dealing with a glute injury, later revealed to be a spinal issue causing nerve pain. He played 9 games, averaging 12.8 points and 9.2 rebounds, but never looked right. His movement was stiff, and he had trouble staying on the court. In December, he underwent spinal surgery. By the time he was cleared, the Wizards had moved on. They traded him to Memphis that summer, who waived him immediately. Dwight's Washington tenure lasted just 2 months on the floor, a solid stat line that nobody saw and even fewer cared about. Dominique Wilkins, Boston Celtics. By 1994, Dominique Wilkins was 34 and coming off a decade as Atlanta's franchise superstar. He'd averaged 26 points with the Clippers the year before, but when he signed with Boston, it felt more like a name-brand rental than a building block. In 1994 and 95, Dominique started 31 games, averaging 17.8 points, but he wasn't the same explosive scorer. His legs were tired, and the Celtics were rebuilding. Boston limped to 35 and 47, missing the playoffs. Fans respected the effort, but the jersey never looked right. After the season, Wilkins bolted to Greece, playing a year with Panathinaikos. His Boston stop was a 1-year cameo that felt like a placeholder for something better that never arrived.